महारानी के श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवताम की भक्ति देवी की श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna. Those of you that have young children and smartphones in your pocket, we ask you to please put children and your smartphones in silent mode. We're very fortunate once again with us. His Holiness Rtadhvaja Maharaj is here. After Maharaj's class, we will have a very special chanting of Lord Nrsingadev's 108 names today for Shyam Sundar Prabhu. So without further ado, please help me welcome His Holiness Rtadhvaja Maharaj.
Take on that one too. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Just a little cup of water. Cup of water. Thank you all for coming. Is there anyone that's here tonight for the first time? Please raise your hand. Thank first timer. Thank you. How did you find? How did you find this? Oh, okay. And you just found it online, or? Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Anybody else here for the first time? Yes. How did you find?
I'm a friend of Luke Patel.
Ah.
We're neighbors in our
Okay. Okay, good. Everybody bring your neighbor. You got a good neighbor. Is there some kind of insurance ad like that or something? Anybody else here for the first time? Yes, how did you find? No, right behind you. Behind you, yeah. Oh, okay. And do you see another hand over? First time, thank you. How did you find? Okay, okay, nice. And somebody else said there's another hand somewhere? Oh, okay, over there. Thank you for coming. First time. Huh? If anybody has one of these, can you please turn it off? I mean, you don't have to turn it off, just make it so it doesn't make noise. Where's what time? Are we gonna? Where's Chiradog? 6:50. But they're gonna do Nishinga something. Oh, that's at 7 or what? I don't know. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadari Shodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all again for attending our Sunday program. How was your week? Anybody have any honest thoughts? Week was okay?
6:50 was the time.
He's telling me 650. 650 minutes? For those who are new, visitors for the first time, thank you for coming. A little historical background. This movement was started. It was actually incorporated in the summer of 1966, and the founder of our society, he's got a figurine in the back, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, commonly known as Srila Prabhupada, established this movement, came from India. At the age of, he's actually celebrated his 70th birthday on board a boat, our ship. It was our cargo ship. And on that cargo ship there was a little cabin, and he was living in this little boat cabin and celebrated his 70th birthday at sea. Landed in Boston Harbor, was the first visual with experience of the United States, and then got back on the ship and went to New York, got off, ended up in Butler, Pennsylvania for a short stay. I went to the Lower East Side of New York and began teaching the ancient Vedic literature based on Bhagavad Gita. Ancient Vedic literature are the literatures that are coming from the teachings from India. Veda is a word, means knowledge, and that knowledge is coming now through what is known as disciplic succession, from teacher to disciple, and the disciple teaches it to his disciples, and he teaches it to his, and in this way, this knowledge is coming down. So that, what would you call it, humble beginnings, as we now, I think this summer, 2019, I think we're in 2019, right? So that 66, so 53 years ago this summer, this movement's been giving out spiritual knowledge based on the ancient teachings, especially Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad is a name for God, Bhagavan, one who possesses all opulence, wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, fame, renunciation. These 6 aspects are opulences. So the Supreme Lord possesses these in full. Gita is Sanskrit word for song. So basically the book is translated as the Song of God. A very simple thing, Song of God. And then in this current version, which is established by our teacher, who is the founder of this society, it goes to Bhagavad Gita as it is. As he explains in the introduction to this Gita that he was, back in the mid-60s, he was asked by an American lady to recommend which Bhagavad Gita should she read, because at that point there were 400, almost 500 translations of the Gita, and he said he couldn't honestly recommend any because the translator or the comment person making the book or writing the book always put some personal influence in it according to their material situation. And he took the commentaries of the previous teachers and synthesized them into the actual meaning and purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. So he added Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is pretty cool to have something in its pure state. And within this Bhagavad Gita, because I'm going to read a little something from the introduction. It's a very lengthy essay that the founder wrote for this, so we can understand a little bit about what Bhagavad Gita is. So on his behalf, I'll read this. Just what is Bhagavad Gita? It's a question he asks in the introduction. Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a unique way to answer a question. If I say, what is this? You'll say it's a phone. You won't. He could have said it's a book, but he said, you'll say this is a phone. When your answer doesn't describe the purpose of it. So the essential understanding of what this is, it's a communication device, something like that, right? Detailed information. This is nice. I've always appreciated his definition here. Just what is Bhagavad Gita? The Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjuna was in difficulty having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we're not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal. But somehow or other, we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. So we'll discuss this a little bit. I guess they say nowadays, unwrap it, right? Unwrap it a little bit. So just what is the Bhagavad Gita? Srila Prabhupada explains the purpose is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. And I always explain this in a particular way, to deliver mankind. In other words, we need a venue for getting out of the nescience, the ignorance of material existence. The nature of this material existence is being described here. Is a very difficult place in one sense. When one is in bodily conception of life, when one identifies with the body, we understand the body has certain joyful moments, certain, I guess, uneventful moments, and certain what we used to call bummers, unfortunate moments like that. And so, as Arjuna, who was the person that Krishna is speaking to, was having difficulty in the battle of Kurukshetra. So this book was spoken on a battlefield. The book, Bhagavad Gita, spoken on the battlefield. The battlefield was known as Kurukshetra. So because Arjuna was having difficulties in understanding the whole situation, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And because of his difficulties. So Srila Prabhupada explains here that not only Arjuna experiencing difficulties, but each and every one of us is experiencing difficulties in this material world. There are basic difficulties. They're broken into three categories. Adhyatmic klesha, klesha meaning miseries or difficulties. Adhyatmic, those which are caused by our own body and mind. Those difficulties which are from our own mental, emotional, and physiological condition. Adhibhotik, those difficulties which come from other people's bodies and minds that affect us, which we experience on probably a daily basis. And adhidaivika klesha. Adhidaivika means the natural effects. Just like Houston had Mr. Harvey showed up, and New Orleans had Miss Katrina. Different people, they used to give them always ladies' names. I know the history behind it. Then they decided to be gender neutral and just switch them up every other time, which is fair. Honestly, it's fair. You have to be fair. And the reason we're experiencing so many difficulties is given in this little, what do they call that? The word is in snippet, Vennet, V-E-N-N-I-T-T-E, little nuggets, right? And I put this on my name card. Our very existence right now is in the atmosphere of non-existence. It's a very simple sentence, but it has so much depth to it that, practically speaking, these two sentences could be a PhD thesis, right? Our very existence in the atmosphere of non-existence, we're not meant to be threatened by non-existence, because by nature we're eternal. That is the beginning message of this Bhagavad Gita. Because Arjuna was trying to find a material solution to his anxiety. He was thinking that being in a battle and fighting a battle would be sinful. He was thinking that it wouldn't bring him any happiness because many people on the battlefield, practically, although there were millions of people, they were all somehow or other connected. Military people know other military people, etc. So there were so many reasons on the moral or quasi-spiritual or material level that he was struggling with prior to the battle. The battle was about to begin. And he asked Krishna to take his chariot, because they fought, horses and chariots, thousands of years ago, and to take it into the middle. He wanted to see who he had to contend the battle, who he must fight this battle with. And so he came overwhelmed. And so in that overwhelmed condition, he struggled. He struggled mentally to try to understand why. Why? Big question, isn't it? Why? And what? What is my purpose? What is the meaning of my life? What am I really meant to do? And so, first of all, he had to give his attention to Krishna. Krishna became his teacher. You take and evaluate one's life, we'll find that almost every aspect of our life, we have someone teaching us. When we're a baby, the parents teach you how to eat, right? They teach you how to clean yourself. Somebody's always teaching us something. You go to school, you learn your language, somebody teaches you the language, someone teaches every single thing in life is taught. And as much as you want to know on the material plane, you have to have somebody teaching you. Advanced knowledge, more advanced knowledge, more advanced knowledge. But that which is beyond our own capacity to understand, that which is beyond. What is my ultimate? What is my nature? Who am I? Because we can take, because this is the beginning instructions again. I'm telling you. First, Krishna tells Arjuna after he becomes his student. He says, first of all, you're lamenting over things which have no value for lamentation. A very strong statement. Asochan andososchas tvam pagnam vedam shabashase. You're talking like someone who knows Veda, but you really don't know Veda. You're talking like someone who has knowledge, but what is the value of your knowledge? Because look at your condition. Someone who has knowledge and he begins, never was there a time that I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall we ever cease to be. We're eternal. I'm an individual, Krishna explains. You're an individual. All the kings are individuals and will always remain individuals. That cannot stop. And he gives a nice example. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jada. That this body is inhabited by dehinosmin, dehino asmin dehe. That the body is inhabited by the soul. And when the soul inside this body, it undergoes different changes. Komaram yovanam jada. From a childhood to youth to old age, the body is changing. The body is in constant state of change. And then dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jada tata dehantara praptir dhiras tata namoyati. Dhira. For someone who is a little sober, dhira means sober. For a person who is a little sober, he is not bewildered at the time of death. So how is that possible, to not be bewildered at the time of death? Because ultimately we don't die. The body is eternal. The body is not eternal. The The soul is eternal, and it's just inhabiting this body for a temporary amount of time. And because we are eternal by nature, and we're meant to be in the eternal environment of the spiritual world, we're now undergoing difficulties in this material world because we're entrapped in a place of non-existence. I mean, it's real. This material world is here. It's not like a dream. It's not like phantasmagoria, which is the word I learned in the Hare Krishna movement, phantasmagoria. Isn't that a nice word, phantasmagoria? We're actually here. Sometimes people will say, actually, we're just dreaming we're here, but we're not actually here. But they have all kinds of philosophies all over the world. But this is really here. But it's temporary. Therefore, it's illusion. Therefore, we have a particular methodology for removing that illusion, for removing ourselves from that conditioned state. So we had several programs this week, and we discussed many different topics. But this topic of the basis of spiritual understanding can literally cure all the problems that the world faces today. The world faces many problems. Everybody talks nowadays about the problems of the world. Very common to have. I remember when I was teaching in school, I was a school teacher for a while, Hare Krishna school, and we were teaching this Bhagavad Gita to a group of teenage boys and girls, basically boys, but sometimes I went to the girls' school to help also. And I was explaining that the problems that we're seeing in the material world are not material problems. They appear to be material problems, but they're not. The problem's not material. The problem is spiritual. And until we come to a proper, clear spiritual understanding, all the material problems are not going to be solved. I'm looking through the crowd, I see mostly people from India. So I don't know if I can use a Three Stooges example. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Three Stooges. That's enough. The Three Stooges were a TV show when I was about 8 years old that was on TV. And they were stooges, right? They were the funny guys. Actually, one of my friends met one of them. He was picking up his grandson at school, and he almost fainted when he saw him, right? Such a famous guy. So the Three Stooges, they go to put some carpet on the ground, right? And the bubble comes up over here, so they jump on the bubble, then it pops up over here, and they jump on the bubble, and it pops up over here, and they jump on the bubble. Pretty soon they got all these things, the whole house is trashed, carpets out the window, carpets on the floor. Or my favorite one was the plumbing, where they almost get themselves like built into a monkey cage and they can't get out. And so that's the nature. It's just kind of like with material solutions, we just create more material problems. They had problems with, oh boy, here I go again. Sorry. They had problems in New York, different places of the big cities of the Western countries with road apples. You know what road apples are? That's the thing that comes out the backside of the horse, right? So in the big cities, they were having it was a major issue. I mean, when you got a lot of those things on the road, it becomes difficult to go. And then the chivalrous young man puts his cape down so that the young damsel doesn't have to step in them, right? So we have these things like that. So they got rid of the road apples by inventing the car, right? They invented a car. No more road apples. Now these apples are growing in the sky. The sky apples. Or the greenhouse effect. I'm not going to say if it is there or not there. I'm not going to get into political issues on that one. But we know that there's air pollution. That much we know. So there was a problem, and they made a material solution to the problem, but it made another problem. And they'll try to make another solution to that problem, and it will create another problem. So all they're doing is taking one away and adding another. That's not progress. That is actually not progress. Real progress means to get to the core of the problem. Get to the core of the problem. And the core of the problem is to misidentify ourselves as something that we're not. If we identify ourselves, I must have given these kind of classes at least 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 times in the last 40-some years. We have to understand this basic, simple point, and I'm not this material body, I'm the soul inside. I'm not male, I'm not female, I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm an eternal. Maimaya vangso jiva loka, jiva bhuta, so I'm an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that has an eternal relationship with that Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is now just covered by this material tabernacle, this material existence, and it is blocking me from my true source of spiritual happiness. Happiness does not exist in the material world in a true sense. Happiness in the material world is due to indriya. Indriya meaning the senses. Matras, the next verse after the one that I just said, that from childhood to youth to old age, and a sober person is not bewildered, because if a sober person means one who is in knowledge that he's not this body, he's the soul inside, and the body may change. Vasamshi janani yata vihaya, just like when these clothes become old and worn, and we discard them for new clothes, we do not lament over the loss of the old clothes. I mean, we lament a little bit because we got to pay some money, but that doesn't really count, right? We don't lament, oh, my poor clothes, my poor, But we actually accept the new clothes, and there's a sense that we got new clothes. In the same way, when this body becomes old and worn, or whatever the situation may be, we must discard it and take on a new one. So the so-called happiness and distress that we experience on the material plane is simply due to sense perception. Matras parshas tukunteya sitosna sukadukada agapamanyo nichas tam satikshas pabharatam. O son of Kunti, this so-called appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress, they're due to sense perception. They're due to sense perception only. They're like the coming and going of the winter and summer seasons. Just like we experienced Houston's level of winter. The other day it got down to like 40 or something like that. Where I come from in North Dakota, if it's 40 degrees out, like at the end of January, it's like, can we go swimming? Right? Matas parsas tukunteya sitos nasukadukada agamapayon tam satiksha shabanatam. It's due to sense perception. It's like the coming and going of the winter and summer seasons. What can you do? You can't do anything about the changing of the seasons. We can make this little tiny environment here in this building. We can raise the temperature in the winter, and we can decrease the temperature in the summer for this little confined area. We can be a little tiny bit of a controller. That's what we really want to be, the big controller. That's one of the reasons we're here. But we cannot control the whole thing. That's not within our capacity. So the only thing we can do is tolerate. We have to just learn to tolerate the changes. And the way we learn to tolerate is that we have to have knowledge. We have to understand that this which seems to be uncomfortable due to the perception of my senses isn't actually me. This is something other than, it's just like a coating. It's like clothes. It's not really me. I'm something separate and distinct. I'm the conscious observer within this body. And I'm observing it undergoing different changes. And as it undergoes different changes, identify with those changes and the happiness and distress that goes along with them according to my sensual perception. And so when one comes to this level of understanding, if we can come to this level of understanding of aham brahmasmi, I am spirit soul. I am spiritual by nature. I'm a spirit soul by nature. I'm conscious. So that which I come from must also be conscious. I'm sentient. Therefore that which I also come from must also be sentient. You must also have senses. If I have personality, that which I come from must also have personality. Whatever's in the energy of something must also be contained in the energetic source. We were discussing this, I think, on Thursday with the Conscious Houston group we have at our Eco Village farm? Eco farm? Yeah. We have about 5 or 6 of those, and I can't always remember the exact name of each one. Yeah. But we were having a discussion on this issue of just a simple understanding can create such a wonderful environment. Just if our vision now is materially covered, and because we identify with that covered vision, we see differentiation on a material level between each other. And when we see that differentiation between each other on a material level, then we get into what is known as friends and enemies. That's where it leads to. It leads to friends and enemies. I think this way based on the nature of my body. This person thinks this way on the nature of his body, which either correlates with mine or is opposed to mine. Therefore, he's either my friend or they're my enemy. And therefore, we make divisions and we make judgments. And with those divisions and judgments, we find conflict. And within that conflict, we do all kinds of crazy things. And so in order to get rid of the madness of this material world, it is essential that we come to the level of the basic understanding that I'm spirit soul. And I am, as I was saying, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, inasmuch as each and every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And according to the Gita, Krishna explains that I am the seed-giving father to all living entities. So if we're all related on a spiritual level, which is not imbued or not contaminated by any influence of the material energy, on that level we can have commonality, which is not infected by gross sense gratification, which makes me appreciate one and not appreciate another. It gives one a chance to have universal appreciation, a universal sense of appreciation, a wholeness. People talk about wholeness now, but they forget about who they are. How can you be whole if you don't even know who we are? They want to have a wholesome life. They want to have a good life. But if we don't even have the information at this point of who we actually are, it becomes very, very difficult. It becomes very difficult to go to that point. So this point we brought up tonight is there because it's the basis of civilized life. It's a basis. It gives us a basis of civilized life. Without spirituality, there is no basis for morality, for kindness, for this or that. You may get a little group of people together to agree to be a certain way, but then there's another group of people over in another area that agree to be another certain way, and then there's automatically conflict. And it's all based on the bodily conception of life. So we can have little tiny, what do you call it, microcosms or whatever they use, those words they use, of some kind of unified, agreement. But you'll never get complete agreement within a particular planet or universe like that. It won't happen unless we see the true commonality. The humble sage with true vision sees equally a dog, an elephant, a teacher, maybe a person that, like what they say, dog eater, a cow. They see everything equal. They just like if I see, Gopal, I've got purple. Is that purple or gray? Which color is your shirt? Yeah, I'm gray. And he has brown, he has white, he has yellow. A lot of grays in the room today. I need something else. There's a blue. There's a blue, another blue, a white. You got one guy in orange, right? By the way, I'm a human that just happens to wear saffron. Okay. So if I just say, I don't like people that wear blue, I'm gonna go punch out Rasikendra right now. He's out. This gentleman here that I've seen but I don't know, he's out too. Your next door neighbor's out. You're on our list. The orange guys are gonna come and get the blue guys. We're gonna team up with the grays because there's a lot of grays here. Those guys, aliens, the grays, right? And that's what it is. It's just like identifying with the cloth. If I get mad because somebody's wearing blue, and the cop says, "Why'd you hit him?" And the dude was wearing blue, man. I can't stand blue people. Right? That the cops are going to just think, man, this guy's touched. Right? Or in India they say, brain cracked. Right? It's total madness. It's total madness. So in a place where it's totally crazy, how are you going to get any unity? If people are to the point where they don't even know who they are, and how do they know? If you don't know who you are, how do you know you're doing the right thing? We have to come to that basic principle of understanding ourselves and what we are. And when we understand what we are, then we can understand what we're to do. Because now what we're doing is we're under the influence of the effect of the material energy. Material energy is composed of goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? And everything in the material energy, everything that's material is composed of those three things in different combinations. So you take 3 times 3, you get 9. 9 times 9 is 81. You just take it on, So it's just a big number. Exponential. What's the word? This grows. Yeah. Thank you. I get tongue-tied with those big words. And so you just end up with a big cosmic mess. And so in order to come to a proper understanding, Krishna tells us, he tells us that wherever we see consciousness, we can understand the soul to be present. Ita prakashya eka krishnam lokamadam ravai shetra shetra tata krishna prakashayanti bharatan. Very beautiful verse. Just like the sun alone gives illumination to this universe, so the soul gives illumination to this body. It makes the body conscious. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Sometimes people will say, we were discussing this in Conscious Houston. Can you show me God? Right? Can you show me God? So this consciousness is the symptom of the soul. To say it's cloudy outside. You can't see the sun, but the effect of the sun, heat and light are present. Therefore you know the sun is there because you see the effect of it. So the effect of the soul is consciousness. Wherever you see consciousness, you can understand there to be a soul. And therefore we have appreciation no matter what type of garment the soul is wearing in its existence. Be it even the small amoeba, an insect, a plant, an animal, anything, in each and every one of them, they show symptoms of consciousness, so we can understand that there's a soul there. It just has a different type of dress. And therefore we have respect and appreciation for every single living entity in this world. And when we have that type of consciousness, and we understand that conscious entity is also coming from the same source as I am, then with that respectful consciousness, we will not exploit any living entity in this world. Exploitation is a very, very shameful. A very, very shameful, what would you say, state of existence. To do that, to discriminate like that, to have that type of thing. So what we have the type of appreciation in order to get to the basis of proper understanding. This is this is essential, because how are we going to get the commonality? Where are we going to find the commonality? It has to come from the soul. Otherwise, there's no basis for it. It's a false base, a false platform. To unite, I remember one time, one of my friends, he gave an example, of the conflicts in this world. And he said that, they'll always be there, but just say right now, America, whatever, America, Mexico, Guatemala, South America, Canada, Europe, India, China, we're all broken up, and yet we all have different views of each other. But all of a sudden, we'll fight. I remember being a child in elementary school, and the Russians were, they were going to kill us all within, just keep a look up, because they're, keep your eyes open, because they're coming. The missiles are coming. They used to teach us, hide underneath your desk. We used to have to crawl underneath our desks, because the Russians were as if your desk is going to protect you from a nuclear bomb, dude. I mean, so when my friend said, if all of a sudden the aliens came and they started attacking America, all of a sudden the Russians and the Chinese and the Japanese, they'd all be our friends, and we'd attack the aliens. We'd be the earthlings, they're the aliens, and the fight continues. All based on the bodily conception of life. All based on the bodily conception of life. And so in order to find unity and harmony and wholeness and wellness, it's essential that we come to this point of a common denominator, as they say, right? The lowest common denominator, and that is that we are eternal, parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, that have an eternal relationship, loving relationship with that Supreme Lord, that can be brought out through the process of bhakti yoga, devotional activities dedicated to the service of the Lord. It begins with karma yoga, yoga meaning connection and karma meaning action, yat karoshi, jadasnasi, jatahosi, dadati yat, that whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we give away, whatever austerities we perform, we do these actions for the service, or they do these things for the service of the Lord with a loving heart. A heart with appreciation and a heart with gratitude, understanding that Krishna has given us everything, the Supreme Lord. When we say Krishna, we understand it to be the Supreme Lord. Krishna just means all attractive. The Supreme Lord is all attractive. He has all beauty, all strength, all knowledge, all these things, all the omnis, right? And so if we can come to that point, then we have a chance. Then we have a chance. But until we come to that point, no matter what we do, we're just like the tres bobitos, the three stooges trying to do the plumbing and causing more and more trouble here and there. So we have to stop at 10:02. And last week we had a little difficulty stopping on time. And the whole class was just, do you have any questions? And we still ran out of time. So maybe if there's a question. And who's got the... Well, maybe there is no question. That means everybody agrees with me. Huh? Nice day. Okay, so it's 10:07. Where's Chirag? That with the announcements? You ready, Chirag Prabhu? He's going to tell you a very funny joke someday. Someday, right? Someday. So thank you all for listening. I hope that was... I only hope it makes us a little bit of sense. gives a little information. This Vedic knowledge is so deep, literally a lifetime of learning. We never stop learning in this society of Krishna consciousness. It's just an ocean of information that will help elevate us to our proper state of consciousness and ultimately lead us to eternal loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay, Chirag Prabhu, Ki Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj.
You're welcome. I stopped on time.
I think last Sunday I was thinking that maybe you and Giriraj Maharaj were chastising me without me hearing it, but I think I found out that it was based on initially what I had said, that Rtadhvaja Maharaj can go on till 7:30 because he has that power. And Giriraj Maharaj
Quoted that.
So at first I thought I was in trouble, but I'm glad it wasn't me. Today we do not have a sponsor for our Sunday feast. If you'd like to sponsor, this will be a good opportunity for you to do so. Our kirtan today, immediately following my sharing of some information with you, will be followed by chanting of 108 names of Lord Nrsimhadev. That is for our temple president, Shyamsundar Prabhu, who is not doing so well, medically speaking, but spiritually, emotionally, he's all up there. So I spoke with him briefly this afternoon. So we're going to be chanting for Prabhu's well-being and for him to come back, because he's got a lot more projects that he needs to work on. So we certainly can use each and every one of you praying for Shyamsundar Prabhu's well-being and a quick and speedy recovery. Anyone here for the first time?
Yeah, I do. We have many.
We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you.
Yeah.
We welcome you as well. Vinod Prabhu here somewhere? Vinod Prabhu is our ambassador for the newcomers today. So as you exit the temple today, be sure to stop at the front desk and collect a gift from us, and we hope to see you again in very near future. I have been told today's Sunday feast cooking is by Mother Subhadra Devi.
Whoa.
Vishakha Devi and Kamal Sundari Devi came to help, in addition to so many other devotees. Our fasting for Ekadashi this week is on Thursday, January 31. And those of you that follow the proper time to break your fast on the following day, which is a Friday, you better put your timer on, because it's only a 20-minute time period. 7:11 in the morning till 7:31 in the morning on Friday. Our annual Japa retreat, the annual event when His Holiness Romapad Swami Maharaj comes here and tells each and every one of us why is chanting of the holy name so important. It is a 2.5-day Japa retreat, March 8th, 9th, and 10th. Friday evening, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. You have 4 more days to get a discounted registration rate. So if you register before January 31, it's only $50. February 1, you pay $65. In any case, it's worth every penny of it. With His Holiness Romapad Swami Maharaj, I know Rtadhvaja Maharaj has been here, part of this Japa retreat in the past, but we will have His Grace Bada Hari Prabhu, who is a very good kirtan singer. And I encourage, if you have never attended this retreat, to attend this. For $50, you get to come in and listen to Maharaj explain to you why is chanting so important, and you get to eat wonderful prasadam every time, right? Friday evening, all day Saturday, and then of course all day Sunday. The program will culminate into our Sunday feast program. Amarendra Prabhu is sponsoring today's Sunday feast for Shyamsundar Prabhu's well-being. So, Japa retreat, please make sure you sign up. Rtadhvaja Prabhu, Ravindra Prabhu, somewhere here. Rtadhvaja Prabhu is here, and they will be available in Gauranga Hall, and you can actually do the sign up here, or you can go online, japahouston.org, and register. Just a personal story here. I avoided attending this Japa retreat for many, many years, but last 3 years I have attended this. And I think Rtadhvaja Prabhu will tell you, last 2 years I've been the first one to register, right? That's probably because I help out with the web page, but who's counting? But yeah, please come. It is really, really a wonderful opportunity for you to participate. Gaura Purnima, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance days on March 20 is an actual day. Wednesday is when we have an actual day festival starting at 7 in the evening. And then, of course, we'll have a cultural program on Sunday, March 24th. We need volunteers. Madhavi Gopi Mataji is in the back. Raise your hand so everyone can sign up to become a volunteer. And if you want to participate in a small drama, we're going to do a drama on Lord Chaitanya. Kalpataru Mataji here somewhere. Kalpataru Mataji is in the back. If you're a thespian or you want to learn how to be an actor, you can see Mataji and she'll sign you up to become a part of our drama. Couple of reminders. Parking. Someone has parked in actual driveway today. We see this often. Many times it's confusing. Okay? However, you need to pay attention to where you're parking. Apparently there is a black Audi. Who's driving a black Audi? I know you're not going to raise your hand. But if you are driving a black Audi, make sure nobody sees you and you go move that car whenever you can. I'll be standing outside. But please, we see this happen all the time. So please be careful. As you enter, keep entering and find a parking spot so you can park properly. How many of you shop at Amazon? Raise your hand. I'm not writing your name down. If you go to, instead of Amazon.com, if you go to smile.amazon.com, only one time what you have to do is through your account management, you have to select the charity. And the charity you will pick is Iskcon of Houston, our temple. So all your purchases, all your Prime membership, all your 2-day free shipping, nothing changes. The prices remain the same. The only thing that you're doing now is you're actually contributing to our fund. We get 0.5% of what you spend. So I hope you spend a lot of money so that our deities can get 0.5% of what you spend. You can either find International Society for Krishna Consciousness of Houston, which is a long name to remember, but I think all of you do. Or you can use the short name Iskcon of Houston, which is easy to remember. And hopefully you know how to spell Iskcon. I-S-K-C-O-N. Kalasudha Mataji will be chanting the 108 names. And then after Mataji's chanting, His Grace Rati Prabhu will be chanting the Kirtan. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is it going to be on the board?
Sir, we have printout or
It's Shalagram.
can we announce?
Yeah, we can announce it. Everyone can look it up at shalagram.com.
If you have a smartphone, this is actually a good time for you to use your smartphone for something spiritual. You can visit shalagram.net. Shalagram. SHASALAGRAM. Bengali name? No? Salagram. SALAGRAM.net, and you will find the prayers. It's called 108 Names of Nrsingadev, Lord Nrsingadev. So if you look for it, you can actually read along and chant along, as does Mother Kalasada.
Thank you. Shri Shri Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki jai. Nrsingadev Ashtottara Shatanam. Om Narasimhaya Namaha. Om Mahasimhaya Namaha. Om Divyasimhaya Namaha. Om Mahabalaya Namaha. Om Ugrasimhaya Namaha. Om Mahadevaya Namaha. Om Stambhajaya Namaha. Om Ugralochanaya Namaha. Om Raudraya Namaha. Om Sarvadbhutaya Namaha. Om Shrimanaya Namaha. Om Yoganandaya Namaha. Om Trivikramaya Namaha. Om Harine Namaha. Om Kolahalaya Namaha. Om Chakrine Namaha. Om Vijayaya Namaha. Om Jayavardhanaya Namaha. Om Panchananaya Namaha. Om Param Brahmaya Namaha. Om Aghoraya Namaha. Om Ghora Vikramaya Namaha. Om Jwalanmukhaya Namaha. Om Jwalamaline Namaha. Om Mahajwalaya Namaha. Om Mahaprabhuaya Namaha. Om Nitilakshaya Namaha. Om Sahasrakshaya Namaha. Om Durnirikshaya Namaha. Om Pratapanaya Namaha. Om Mahadamshtraya Namaha. Om Yudha Pragyaya Namaha. Om Chandakopine Namaha. Om Sadashivaya Namaha. Om Hiranyakashipu Dhvamsine Namaha. Om Daityadanava Bhanjanaya Namaha. Om Gunabhadraya Namaha. Om Mahabhadraya Namaha. Om Balabhadraya Namaha. Om Shubhadrakaya Namaha. Om Karalaya Namaha. Om Vikaralaya Namaha. Om Vikartaya Namaha. Om Sarvakartrikaya Namaha. Om Shishumaraya Namaha. Om Trilokatmaya Namaha.